Hey folks, welcome back to the farm. We're back in the kitchen today because we're getting a little moisture outside in the form of some rain. We're glad to get it, but it sticks us inside the house for a while. So we've got another recipe for you and another one from California. So stick around, we'll show you what it is. It's going to be a nice sweet little treat. So anytime there's a Marion or a Berrien in our family, you see the whole family. And half of my family is Portuguese. And whenever you get the Portuguese half comes, of course you get some Portuguese recipes being made because we always get together with food. That's what we do. So along with that always comes some rice pudding, or what we call in the Portuguese community Papas de Arroz, which is Papas is Portuguese for pudding, and then arroz is rice. So rice pudding. We had some rice pudding there that we had tried, and my daughter was pleasantly surprised. She'd never had it with a hint of lemon in it, and I haven't either. And the Portuguese people put lemon in a lot of stuff, just as do a lot of Mexican people or Hispanic people. They put a lot of lemon in stuff as well, closely related origins over in Spain, Portugal, stuff like that. And it was very refreshing and very good. So I've got the recipe for that. It also came from our friend that we mentioned before, Fatima. She had made the rice pudding as well. So we're going to make some, and we're getting together with some friends tonight for Kelly and I's anniversary of our first date ever. So kind of a special night. So I was going to make some dessert to share with our friends. Let's get it made. Okay, start with a good heavy bottom pot, and you're going to put half a gallon or 8 cups of red top milk, or whole milk as it's called, and we're going to put this on medium heat. Next is a cup and a half of medium grain rice, and you want to rinse out your rice. Remember, your rice comes to you straight from the field all dirty. It's not clean. Asian people will you'll really gross them out if you show them that you're cooking rice without rinsing it. Always rinse my rice till the water starts coming out fairly clear. Looks like I need a new strainer, starting to get rusty. But that's what your rice looks like. It's all nice and clean. We'll let it drip. You'll find that your rice tastes a whole lot better when you do that. Next thing, we took one of our lemons and washed it. We're going to zest one lemon, just like we did the other day for our tarts that we made. Okay, our milk is warming up. To our milk, we're going to add a cup and a half of just regular granulated sugar. We're going to give that a stir. I like to use a flat bottom instrument so I can keep stuff off the bottom. So get that sugar stirred in. We'll keep stirring it until we feel that the sugar is dissolved. You don't feel any more grains on the bottom. After the sugar is dissolved, we're going to add all of our rinsed rice. And we're also going to add all of our lemon zest. And then we're going to keep this stirred up. We're going to bring it to a simmer. It's going to simmer for quite some time, about usually 30 to 45 minutes. The rice will soak up all that milk, and it'll get the consistency of a pudding. And then that's where you can turn it off. You'll want to taste the rice pudding. Make sure you don't have any hard grains of rice. Make sure all the rice is soft. And then it's done. But just make sure you keep it stirred. Keep the bottom of the pan scraped off. Make sure nothing's thickened. Now you want to make sure you use the medium grain rice, or sometimes it'll be called pearl rice. I have used arboreal rice for rice pudding. It works just fine, but you don't want to use the long grain. One thing I almost forgot to add was a pinch of salt. Gotta have that. You can see now that our pudding has started to boil, we're going to turn it down to low on the stove and just let it simmer until it gets thick. Now normally our rice pudding recipe calls for an addition of vanilla at the end. However, this recipe does not have the vanilla, but it gets its flavor from the lemons. And we also don't put cinnamon on top like we normally would. Now you're also probably used to covering rice when you cook it, when you simmer it, but you don't want to do it with this because you'll get a huge mess on the stove because it'll boil over on you. Alright, you can see now how we're thick like pudding. That means it's done. I've already tried some. There's no hard grains of rice in there. It's all cooked all the way through. So we're going to turn the fire off. I always scrape the sides while I stir it too. We're going to let this cool just a little bit, and then we're going to put it into our serving dish. You could dump all of this in like a big 9x13 pan and just let it cool. But we're going to do some little individual servings. Alright, we put them in little ramekins. I put some in little cupcake cups here that I can take to coffee in the morning. We're going to let those set up and get cool. Alright, we're going out to celebrate, like I said, the anniversary of our first date. Kelly's got a funny story about our first date that I'm going to let her tell you real quick. It was at my favorite place, which was Feresi's Deli in Oakdale, California. I had a cowboy steak sandwich, which they no longer have. But tell them a little bit about our first date.
Well, you took me to your favorite spot to enjoy the food, and you enjoyed your food so much that you basically swallowed it whole before I had even started mine. And then once you finished yours and I finished half of mine, I kept trying to get conversation going, and you weren't really talking much. You'd answer questions, but there was no like continuous conversation, and I'm not a conversationalist either. So I was like, oh boy, there's not going to be a second date. And then all of a sudden I remembered that at one point he had said something about gardening, and so I asked him about his garden at home, because this was beginning of April, so in California the garden's just starting to get going. And so I asked him about that, and his whole face lit up, and all of a sudden he was talking nonstop about his whole garden. And so he said, hey, we've got time before work. Do you want to go see my garden? Or I had to work that night, I think, that evening shift. He said, you want to go see my garden before you go to work? And I was like, okay. So we each had our own vehicles there because we met for lunch. And so we both got in our own vehicles and headed towards his house. And on the way
I got her to follow me home.
On the way over to his house, I texted the nurse that had set us up and said, hey, I'm headed over his house to check out his garden. If I disappear, have the cops look in his garden.
Crazy. But it all worked out.
It did. And now we both like to be
So grow a garden, guys. If you want the perfect woman, grow a garden. Love you, baby.
Love you too.
Couldn't ask for a better woman right here. So we're going to go enjoy ourselves. We're going out with some friends, our friends Scott and Sam tonight. So till next time, stay safe, stay healthy. Love you guys. We'll see you soon.
Thanks for watching.